Comment? Okay, let's move to, I want to do one public hearing before we get to the EIR, and that is for the school district. That would be agency item 5A, and that's a resolution of the Redevelopment Agency of the City of Emeryville approving a public facilities loan agreement with the Emery Unified School District in the amount of $2,836,634, making findings pursuant to Health and Safety Code 33445 and approving $1,418,342 each from the 1976 Project Area Capital Fund and the Shell Mount Capital Fund for the Emeryville Center of Community Life Capital Improvement Project. Okay.
Mayor, that is also item 6A.
Right, item 6A.
It's a hearing on both the city council and for the redevelopment.
Right, so this will be a joint public hearing.
Yeah.
Okay, so staff presentation, and then we'll open the public hearing.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair and Mayor Bukowski and members of the agency board and city council, Edmondson Finance Director. Come before you to seek the approval for a public facilities loan agreement of $2,836,684 with the Emery Unified School District for you to make the findings pursuant to Health and Safety Code Section 33445 and to appropriate $418,342 each from the 1976 Project Area Capital Fund and the Shell Mount Project Area Capital Fund. Back in September of 2007, staff and the Emery Unified School District began discussions on AB 1290 pass-through payments due to the district. After several meetings, we found out that the district was interested in capitalizing the cash flow of the pass-through payments through a bond issuance, the purpose of which is to partially fund various capital facilities, including a two-story modular classroom building at Anna Yates Elementary School, the replacement of the playing field at Emery Secondary School, and the renovation of the Industrial Arts Building, also at Emery Secondary School. Staff suggested an alternative to the district's planned bond issuance in the form of a public facilities loan agreement, as it would have actually multiple benefits, including avoiding the bond issuance costs, expediting the funding for the district, and reducing the administrative burden associated with a bond issue. The loan agreement will also allow the district to begin implementing the Emeryville Center of Community Life, supporting its early program goals. ECCL, as it is also called, is a vision for the centralized and coordinated delivery of social, educational, recreation resources for everyone in the Emeryville community. This public facilities loan agreement also requires that a public hearing be conducted and that certain findings and determinations be made consistent with Health and Safety Code Section 33445. These findings and determinations are that the construction of the district projects will be of the benefit of the 1976 project area and the immediate neighborhood for which the district projects are located, including the Shell Mountain project area. That no other reasonable means of financing the district projects are available to the community, and that the payment of the funds pursuant to the agreement for the cost of the construction of the district projects will assist in the elimination of one or more blighting conditions within both the 76 area and the Shell Mount area, consistent with the agency's implementation plan adopted pursuant to Health and Safety Code Section 33490. Funding for this public facilities loan is available through an appropriation of $1,418,342 each from the 1976 Project Area Capital Fund and the Shell Mount Project Area Capital Fund. Sorry.
Excuse me. Mayor, the city attorney told me that since the proceeds are going to be used primarily at the elementary school, Annie Yates, that I have to recuse myself because my house is next to the playground, next to the schoolyard.
Okay.
So
All right.
I'm going to step down.
Okay, great. Thank you. continue, Ed? Edwin?
Right, I'm actually finalizing it, and at this time, I'd like to ask Assistant Superintendent Joe Franz. I also see Superintendent Steve Wesley here, but they're going to do a short presentation, and then I'll come back to take any questions and open up the
Okay.
public hearing.
Okay.
Good evening, council members. I too thank you for your public service.
Please introduce yourself.
So, I am Stephen Wesley, the interim superintendent for the Emory Unified School District. Mr. Francis is going to show you what the project looks like as he's trying to find a way to set these drawings up. There are a couple of things I'd like for you to know about the process that we've used. Number one, clearly the school district is growing. This appropriation allows us to keep pace with the growth. We are anticipating a significant increase in our school-age population, and the first building to benefit from expansion capabilities is the elementary school, Annie Yates project. The project is not just a facilities project. It is also an internal reworking of the school district's educational plan to accommodate the growth and the expansion that's been discussed here tonight in Emeryville. Our schools are currently, now because of the city's general plan, under reconstruction. We are aligning our curriculum programs with themes that are consistent with where the city is going. This particular Annie Yates project has a special interest in embracing science, and you'll see a significant commitment to a new science facility, which is a rich and rare facility at an elementary school, thus giving us the distinction of having a science magnet elementary school with a biotechnology emphasis. Already in existence at this school is an arts integration program. So as we think about the general plan of the city, as we think about the redevelopment concepts of the city, we're using the funds, these appropriation funds, not only for construction, but also construction to accommodate science and the integration of art in the context of our elementary school. The other things that we're doing with the appropriations is making sure that we no longer run schools for 185 days. So the expansion capability that we're now enjoying is the expansion capability of schools that are open year-round and schools that are open to the entire community. So all of the considerations for the expansion on this elementary school project are being done to accommodate a more citywide, total across the board, full calendar access to our schools.
Does that include adult education too?
It includes it includes birth to senior citizens. And in that context, our schools are now the first step toward becoming centers of community life. The elementary school will become a center for community life for science, arts integration for families 0 to senior citizens. So the concept is that the appropriations is not just to build more classrooms in an elementary school. The concept is to make the elementary school and then subsequently the high school and the middle school program user-friendly 0 to senior citizens. If I may just briefly comment on the phrase used earlier tonight, crown jewel, it would be remiss for the superintendent to not point out that clearly all of the concepts related to the development of Emeryville are intimately dependent upon the school district has to take the preeminent position of being the crown jewel, or else there is no development. We hear that call, and what you're about to see in the use of our appropriations is a school district that is refacing itself to keep pace, and not just to keep pace, but to lead the way with the new Emeryville's direction. So, Mr. France, you can explain how the new elementary school is now looking like a totally new elementary school.
Joe France, Assistant Superintendent for Business Services with the Emory Unified School District. Thank you, Superintendent Wesley and City Council. I do want to first express our appreciation of the school district for the collaboration that we've had with the Redevelopment Agency in planning the AB 1290 pass-through payments and how those payments could be used to make available now the capital that are needed to forward the Center of Community Life projects that we are working on in the school district. And as Superintendent Wesley mentioned, the first of those is the Annie Yates Grove project, and particularly that is the basis on which we are requesting the loan is to do that. The whole project will cost approximately $9 million. The state will be providing us with $4.5 million in matching funds, and we need to match the other half. We have developer fees, which will match well over $1 million of that, but we will need this loan in order to complete the match process, to complete the construction of this building. And this building is not just, as Superintendent Wesley said, there are 20 classrooms that you can see there in the building, which will be replacing 13 one-story portables that are on the yard right now. So it will increase the capacity for students and programs at the elementary school, as well as increase the playground space available at the elementary school. And you may see there that there is a large artificial turf area which will be replacing a portion of the blacktop there to provide both the students and the community who can use the yard during non-school times with opportunity for more for the kinds of activities that can only be done on a soft turf field. In addition, Superintendent Wesley mentioned the Elementary Science Center, which is going to be a renovation of what's currently the kindergarten wing, the wing that you see on the far left, on the buildings that you see that are closest to the audience in these drawings. That's the kindergarten wing, which is currently 2 kindergarten classes, but the wall between them will be torn out and will be turned into an elementary science center with gardens surrounding the science center to allow our kids and others the opportunity to engage in rich selection of science activities in collaboration with the science partners that we have, including Novartis here in the city. And as you can see, there is also a redesign of the yard, which includes both the blue areas you see are new construction areas, and in addition to the classroom building at the top, there's a substantial new area that's covered walkways and covered areas which will allow for our children to be able to be outside in the rain without getting wet. So it does also provide a lot more flexibility, and as you can see, the actual design of the yard is designed to take advantage of the theme of Temescal Creek running through our community. So it does have a creek theme running through there. That's not going to be actual water, however, only a painted creek, but it will. We do hope through that to help encourage our community and students' awareness of Temescal Creek and the some of the natural resources that are in Emeryville. So with that, the school district would be happy to entertain any questions you have, but as your finance director, Edmund Swin, said, we are happy to, if this is possible, to provide this advance on these funds because it does save us the cost of capitalizing the AB 1290 payments ourselves, and certainly enables us to move forward more rapidly. We are currently planning to begin construction of this in June, with beginning just in 2 months with the preparation of the old EMSA site on 61st Street to be a one-year relocation site for the elementary school, while the construction proceeds at the current NE8 site.
Great, well, thank you very much. Why don't I open the public hearing if the presentation's done, and then we'll take comments from the members of the agency. Public hearing is now open. Anybody wanting to come forward, please speak at this time.
My name is Brian Donahue. I have a daughter, a 2-year-old daughter that my wife and I have every intention sending to Emeryville Public Schools. We are predisposed to the idea of public schools, but we're not willing to sacrifice our daughter's education to some abstract concept of the notion that public schools are good somehow. So we want to send our daughter to a good public school, and I have a couple questions. One, there are buildings on the Anna Yates Elementary School grounds right now that are referred to as, I believe they refer to them as portable, or so I guess also known as temporary. And so at least one of those are being replaced from what I understand. This is the question I'd like to have. And then, so is it being replaced with a building with an actual foundation, a real building, or is it going to be replaced with another portable or temporary building? So I guess,
Well, actually, just make your comments, and then if they want to address them.
if it is going, I'm not inclined to send my daughter to a school that has just temporary being replaced with temporary buildings. I think we should be building real buildings here, and it's sending a message to the children and to the people of Emeryville that basically you don't really matter that much. You matter only enough to build temporary buildings, portable buildings. And I think it's the wrong message to send. I think we should be. I'm a little nervous that this ECCL concept is taking focus away from the actual schools that we have here and now, and I would like to see real buildings built, not portable buildings. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Lottie, did you want to comment? At the microphone, please.
My comment is not so much regarding the building, but the quality of the teachers and the curriculum. And I feel the emphasis here is not large enough, not big enough to really have quality education for the children. It's, I think, of great vital importance, more than a building, a pretty building, or where they are safe from a few drops of rain, but quality. And so I think the effort should really be made that a lot of the funding should go into the best qualified teachers. Thank you.
Lottie, I think these funds can only be used for capital improvements. They can't be used for educational purposes, so I just wanted to bring that point out.
And do you have other sources, may I ask?
Not from, these funds would come from sources that cannot be used for anything else but capital improvement. So we're looking at something here where we have no other options with this money.
Mm-hmm. And there are no alternative ways you can see how we can manufacture gold for the children.
Well, we might be able to do that, but not with these funds. This
Yes,
is
understood.
specifically on the use of these capital funds.
Thanks, Ken.
Sure,
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comment? Okay, the public hearing is closed. Agency members?
I would like to, I just have one question, and you're talking about the growth of the school district. I thought the plan for the school district was, it was going to be 3 schools, 400, 400, 400, that the maximum we were looking at was 1,200 students. Has that changed?
No. It's important, I hope, that the council recognizes that this project is a project to meet needs that we have right now. Right now, we are short of space and of playground space at Anna Yates Elementary School. And so the purpose of this project is to, for the next 10 or 15 years, to ensure that we have sufficient facilities to educate our children, but it does not replace our larger version that we are continue to be committed to working on through the City Schools Committee and the Emeryville Youth Services Advisory Committee to build a center of community life, which would consist of multiple sites. We're not prejudging whether this would necessarily be or not be one of the sites of that, but we're certainly not assuming that it is
Okay.
such a site of that.
That answers my question. I am absolutely in favor of this. It's a very creative, and I want to thank Edmund and you, John, for coming up with this solution, because it's a good use of public money. It's a good use of both redevelopment and city money to invest in our children and the wider community. So I'm very much in favor of it.
Okay, thank you. Any other agency members? Ruth?
I just want to comment. I also am fully supportive of this, and want to just make explicit that a great deal of planning on the part of the school community has gone into what to do with their Anna Yates facility. And I remember other public meetings and ideas that were brought forward about really how to meld art and science there at Anna Yates. And this is the first example of what I hope will happen more and more in this community, where facilities are being built around program needs and program visions. And so this is a trial run to meet existing needs right now that can, it is my belief that the best education can happen when there's all kinds of resources, including good teachers, but also good facilities that can support the educational endeavors that are there. And this represents far more planning than meets the eye tonight about what kind of physical supports the programmatic development here really necessitates. So I'm very excited. This is a good trial run for how to build facilities that meet programmatic needs in the future. And as a piece of this, I am looking forward to hearing about any lessons learned in implementing this. But this is a great start, and I couldn't be more enthusiastic.
Okay, thank you, Emily.
Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah. Can I just, before I make my comments, could somebody answer Brian's question?
Yes, for Mr. Donahue and others in the community, let me assure them that this, we are replacing temporary portables with a permanent classroom building built on permanent foundations. It is modular, which means that the walls are going to be constructed off-site and brought into the site and tilted into position, which does allow us to construct both more cheaply and more quickly in this circumstance, both of which were important considerations that we had. However, it is a permanent building. It is treated as such by the Division of School Architects, which approves all new school buildings and which considers it to meet all required codes for a permanent school building.
Right, great. And then the comments that I'd like to make just are in the broader picture of the center of community life and where we're going with all of this. I know that initially we had hoped to get the AC Transit site and really consolidate everything in one place because it was adjacent to the high school. And since we know that that's not happening now, we've had to kind of rethink the physical part of the plant and really sort of adopt the thinking that the center of community life is not in one place, it's in a number of places. And certainly the Anna Yates for the time being is one of those spots. And, you know, we also have the middle school, and you're deciding what to do that and how to use that. But at the same time, I want people to be reassured that we're moving forward with a broader concept, because we're out for a request for proposals for the design of the site that will be more central, which is the PG&E site. Unfortunately, that site's not large enough, not as large as the AC Transit site, to hold everything that we had hoped to hold in one place. So this is, in terms of the bricks and mortar part of the whole program, this is a step in dealing with our current needs, looking forward to the future as we go forward in a number of places. When I first knew that this was going to be on the agenda, I hesitated for a moment, because I know that, first of all, so that if it's not totally clear from our finance director, these monies that we're loaning are monies that the school is going to be entitled to on pass-through funding from future development. So it's not like it's not money that you're just being given. It's sort of in advance on what you're going to be entitled to. But I was concerned because the way we're going to do that is as a city, is we've already set aside $25 million to go towards the Center of Community Life. And this is the first real project that's come along where we're dipping into that fund. And my first reaction was, gee, I hate to see us dip into that fund, because I know that the idea is that we would have that and the school would match that, and we would move forward together towards acquiring and cleaning up and building a new facility. But when I talked to Pat O'Keefe about it, Pat just gave me a whole different perspective. And he said, you know, what's exciting about this is that it shows that we're not waiting, that we're moving forward. This is the first step in that process of doing what we're doing. And Lottie, to your concern, one of the exciting things and why I ran again is largely because of this Center of Community Life and what it can mean to our community across the board. And what's been exciting to be part of is that the whole educational part of this has been moving forward well ahead of the facilities. It's been happening, and if you just look at the improvement in the scores and all of the wonderful things that have happened and the way the students are engaged, and it's a much better environment. Better teachers are being attracted. Some teachers that were deadwood have been gotten rid of. Things have been on a real sharp increase. We know we have a long way to go. So in the big picture of where we're going with the Center of Community Life and what it can mean to Emeryville, of finding places to bring us all together, which is something that this community lacks, it's really having a huge impact. Just one example, my downstairs neighbor is a retired math teacher. He's now mentoring 3 students in calculus at the school. That's something that wouldn't have happened 5 years ago. People are feeling comfortable there, they're feeling engaged there, they're involved there. So I want people to understand that I don't want us to just have that fear, well, you're going to just build buildings and you're not going to improve the education. The educational improvement is happening every single day. But as Ruth said, this construction piece is a part of improving the facility so that better teachers will want to come and teach here, and so that students will have a better environment and one that really works towards this higher level of education we're trying to get to. So my compliments to the school and to the continuing combination of the city and school working together. I think it's really exciting, and I know that we're going to have a place down the road that people are going to be standing in line to get one of those 1,200 seats. Our people will always have first shot at that, but I know that where we're going with math and science and technology here, this is going to be a place that's going to be a huge magnet for anybody that wants to move their children forward in the community. So I fully support this. Thank you for your hard work.
Okay, good.
I would move both resolutions.
I had just a couple of
All
comments
right.
quickly. Is this an example here where we're going to have where the use of city funds is going to bring in funds that we would not otherwise get to the area here?
I think undoubtedly, yeah.
Well, in the first sense that this qualifies us for state matching funds, which we need in order to complete this. We have to match the state funds 50-50 in order to receive the state funding for this project. And we don't have enough construction facilities funds in our current facilities, capital facilities funds to make that full match. So if we didn't have these redevelopment funds, we would have to scale back this project into a smaller project.
Okay, so we're getting additional funds because we're going to have this match here, right?
Correct.
Okay, great, okay.
And
then the
Ken,
other-
excuse me, just before you go forward with that, Joe, would you say again where the total funds are coming from, the pots that they're coming from?
The project is approximately $9 million, and one half of that comes, we're fully qualified through the state for this. They provide 50% of the soft and hard funds, presuming that at least 60% of the entire budget gets spent on hard costs. And the other half, $4.5 million, is being met through a combination of our developer fees, which would come through the contributions we get from developers as they build projects here in Emeryville, and the redevelopment funds.
So part of it, you confused it just a little bit. Part of it is money that's the schools right now.
That's right. We receive quarterly a share of development fees, and we have well over $1 million in that current fund right now.
Okay, so 4.5 of the 9's coming from the state as matching fund. The other 4.5 is a combination of this loan and the money that the school has.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, great. And then the other question is, in the area of adult education, I have so many people in this community asking me how they can become computer literate And I think that, I'd like to see that one of the first programs that we can implement for adult education here, so. Okay, so with that, I have a motion.
I'll second.
Would you call the roll, please?
That's for both the agency
That's
and
for
the city.
agency, right. Agency item 5A and City Council item 6A.
Agency and Councilmember Davis.
Aye.
And Agency and Councilmember Fricke is recused. Agency and Councilmember Cassis.
Aye.
Vice Chair and Vice Mayor Atkin.
Aye.
And Chair and Mayor Bukowski.
Aye. Okay, now I'd like to go to.
Steve and Joe, thank you for coming tonight, for your time.
I don't think, let's just do the consent calendar.
Okay, I've had a request if we finish the consent calendar. Okay.
I move the consent calendar,
On
Second.
the redevelopment agency?
Yeah.
redevelopment agency.
Do I have a, okay. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, without objection, that's approved. Okay, then,